Good morning, guys. Welcome back to another video. And today what we have going on is first of all, before we even get there, let me update you guys what's going on. So you guys remember the B6 that I upgraded the turbo and I did everything? I basically brought the car back to life. Okay, that car is sitting right here. That car is sitting right here, and the customer destroyed the car. Like, it's crazy. He destroyed the car and now it's back here. So what we got planned for this car is we're gonna put a new motor in this one, because what happened is one of the cylinders is dead. I think the radiator was leaking. The customer ended up cracking the radiator. It was leaking pretty bad. The radiator was leaking pretty bad, and he drove it like an hour away with no coolant inside of it, and that destroyed the motor. So as you guys can see, it's leaking a bunch of oil. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring it back to life, and we have another GTI outside that we're gonna also have to rebuild. But what I'm getting at is we have my car back in the lab right now, and it's not too good right now. Unfortunately, this little turbo line right here is leaking, and I have to go back in there and replace it. I'm not excited about that at all. I'm not excited for that, but it is what it is, guys. I'm just gonna try to knock it out real quick and just get it out the way. And I'm just tuning back in real quick. Remember I told you guys I had a timing belt to knock out? Let me show you guys. The customer complained that the engine mount is shot. So I took off the engine mount. It's right there on the floor. And look, I found a broken bolt. I don't know who the fuck was in here before. Sorry for the curse words. And this bolt is actually loose. That bolt right there is not supposed to be loose. I don't know who the hell was in here before me. And look how easy the bolt come out. And one of them ended up snapping, not tight enough. And there's one more down here that I'm gonna have to release to really see what's going on right here, guys. This is fucking crazy. This is not the right way to repair a engine mount. This is crazy. I can't wait till the customer get here to show him this. This is absolutely crazy. You can't put an engine mount in a car and not tighten the bolts properly. That's not the right way, dude. You just don't do that. It's freaking crazy. Okay, let me update you guys real quick. So you see all these metal shavings? That's from the timing belt getting destroyed and everything rubbing against from that engine mount bolt being broken, and somebody stripped it out and then put it back correctly. So I managed to be able to turn the bolt to get it out all the way where I'm able to turn it with my fingers. So right now I could honestly screw out the broken bolt. So at least my life is not that stressful today. So we finally got it out. It's right here, bro. It's right here. And he's ordering a new one right now. This is his car, by the way. He's ordering a new one right now, and we're gonna put it right on. So I'm just gonna take everything off, set the motor to top dead center. We're gonna change the timing belt, the tension, and everything. We got all new parts in the trunk right here that we're gonna put on. So we have extra coolant. Shout out to FCP for plugging us. So metal impeller water pump. So let's jump right back over on this side and get it knocked out. So see, look at the engine cover as well, guys. Sorry, I cut off what I was gonna say, but look at the engine cover. Check it out. Everything was honestly rubbing. It's crazy, guys. Like, somebody went in there, did the timing and didn't torque everything properly, so the bolt ended up snapping. It's crazy. So look, guys, I finally, if you looking, I finally got my P000A code to go away. And what the code, oh, I had one misfire in cylinder number 1, maybe my cylinder number 2, maybe the spark plug's going or something. But what happened was, guys, I just tested the system and it said that the system was okay. Before, when I would test the system, it would always tell me the system is not okay. And I kept getting the P000A code. I kept getting the P000A code. And what I did to replace the P000A code for the code to go away, I put a new camshaft in today. So now that P000A code that I had before, I don't know if I could go back in the history and show you guys. Let's see. It's not there anymore. The only code I have is just the the coolant pump control circuit. That's the only code I have right now. And I had that P000A code for the longest, guys, but I finally took care of it. Don't mind me, guys, I look like a total mess. I had to do so much stuff today. I did my turbo. I replaced my turbo lines because one of them was leaking, and I took my intake camshaft out, and I replaced the camshaft with a brand new camshaft from Audi Volkswagen. So now I finally got the P000A code to go away. That was so crazy, guys. I finally figured it out. Like, damn. I didn't think I would actually figure that out. I changed the seals, the little O-ring in the camshaft. I changed those seals. I changed the intake. I changed the oil. I drained the filter. I did so much, guys, for that code to go away. I changed the adjuster valves, every freaking thing, and I finally got that code to go away, man. I feel so happy with myself. But I'm gonna wrap it up right there, guys. I should have showed you guys what I did earlier, but I was just too busy and I was trying to get it done, so I didn't record any video or anything like that. But next time I definitely will. We're just gonna continue where we left off from the previous video that I made. Sorry, I got my hair out looking crazy. But what I have behind me is a Mark 5 GTI with a broken engine block. The connecting rod shot right through the engine block. The connecting rod, piece of the connecting rod is right here. It's all destroyed right now, but we pulling the motor on this car, and I started pulling it yesterday, and if you guys look, everything is disconnected from the car. So only thing that's holding the car in right now, honestly, is just the mounts that's holding the car in. Everything else is disconnected. So this engine is ready to be pulled. So I ran to Harbor Freight. I picked up the engine crane, the cherry picker, whatever you guys want to call it, to get the engine out. And they didn't give me the pump to pump it up. So they calling back right now. Give me a second, guys. So I just got off the phone with them not too long ago, and they told me to come back and pick up the pump. So I'm gonna run back to Harbor Freight in Terrytown, and I'm gonna go pick up the hydraulic pump, and then I'll be back, and it's gonna be time to pull this bad boy right here. So let's go pick up the pump. And got the piece we need right here. So let's get back on the road.
So you know we no able run it out and shoot them out and flip over the table, kick over, we cheer for call who disable. Never have to make a call for the queen of them page, yeah. Badness them sleep, badness them wake up. You are weird badness on your face, must make up. Umbre, good at what you wanna be. Step on them ends in a new wallaby. Yeah, they make tough that, but me know them not go do talks, them a push you back. Cause they didn't have to eat, I'm a chop the line, fit the beam, my jump feet. Recline fully quick, genuine leather seat. Matic carry on my belly, not the on the car seat.
Right now, guys, take the hood off. Right now, I'm just trying to set up the chain to pull out the motor. So I have some bolts I grabbed from my extra bolt pin. Now I'm gonna just try to get it out. It shouldn't, honestly, it shouldn't be that bad to get the motor out. Maybe I try to give you. All right, as you guys just seen, we set up the crane fully. We got all the parts. We went back to Harbor Freight and we picked it up. So now, already on this motor, the lift point is right here on the alternator, and there's one also right here. I'm using, this is one of the head bolts I put in here. As long as it doesn't go through, I know everything will be okay. That's perfect right there. So let's go ahead and hook this thing up. One with the secret codes, I'm a buy trick like I'm a keep it low. Never got a background, that could be my
I push one, put it on the toe. Them hanging up, you think turn up and them ask me I'ma do it dog. Philippine cleaning, I'm Louis V sneakers. When me touch you red enough, you ask me get about 3 girls. Silent later like Steve Seagal. The day my push start, you never see me with no key dog. And all I feel my friend, them a head bang, I send a pre-dog. No feel bad, when Melo dry, your girl is like a T-bag. The girl she see the way, but she get wet, just can't be seen. Goddamn, one of the secret codes, I'ma buy 3 Glock, I'ma keep it loaded.
So right now the motor is finally out, and I'm gonna show you guys the damage that was done to this motor after picking it up from the tuner. But look, you can see right through the block. This block is freaking destroyed. It shot a connector rod right through. Like, this entire thing is destroyed. So if you look through it, you can see that there's a hole. Like, this is crazy. This is crazy. Shot a rod right through the block. So that's why we're gonna replace it with the other one right over there. So I started taking apart everything yesterday, and we finally got the motor out. I feel like the hardest thing to do was actually getting the transmission linkage loose. I feel like that was the hardest thing I had to do, was to get the transmission linkage. Everything else is pretty much straightforward and really, really simple. Look at all these tools I'm finding. All these tools.
Yo, mad yo. Yeah. Them for no say we evil us. Them page ya, badness them sleep, badness them wake up. You are weird badness on your face, must make up. Umbre, coulda what do wanna be? Step on it.
So this is a bolt for the coolant line. I'm gonna just go ahead and stuck it back in there, so when I'm looking for it, I don't have to go searching for it. So we working right up there where the turbo is. So let's go ahead, put some PB blaster on all the bolts.
Just watch what you doing. Big 45 from my waist, no pulling off. What can bad when I pull away?
So got all the turbo bolts. So all the turbo bolts is out. Do we have a turbo bracket? No, we don't have a turbo bracket. So we should be good to lift this right. We should be good to take this turbo right out, right? Okay, we have the turbo off. And this guy, he's running a CTS turbo. That's a CTS turbo setup. So this motor is completely shot, so we don't need to set the timing, make sure it's top dead center, none of that. So we can just go ahead and take off all the timing components right now and just set them to the side. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Let's
just watch what you're doing. Big 45 from my waist, I'm pulling up. Boy can't bad when I pull away. Me in the hand anytime I will pull the pin. Just watch what you're doing. Big 45 from my waist, I'm pulling up. Boy can't bad when I pull away.
These are our M10, and all these bolts is for the crank pulley. Rubber mallet, and you tap it. That's how you take it off. Now these bolts are RT30s, so to get them out, I usually use my little quick wrench I have over here. So
Pegasus, stop right, pull up, I make a girl let bus. Stop chop the line, you can call me the peddler. Nobody fell in love with us. Them one know the secret codes. I'ma buy 3 Glock, I'ma keep it loaded. Be my push one, put it on the toll, not for them.
Customer was complaining that the car was down on boost and it wasn't. So we fixed the intercooler. The intercooler had a leak, a boost leak, a big hole in the intercooler. So we replaced the water pump. The car stopped overheating. The car was pulling like crazy. The guy wanted to get the car retuned, went to the dyno, and I think the tuner turned the boost up too much, and when the guy was coming back from the, well, after 15 minutes picking it up from the tuner, the car broke down. They shot a piston rod through the block. So we're just gonna take off all the brand new components like the water pump, metal impeller water pump, and we might leave the old tensioner on it, honestly, because we don't really need the old tensioner. So I'm gonna text the customer right now and tell him to pick up a new timing belt kit, and I'm just take off the water pump.